Hello everyone, it's Julie from Camelia Crafts Designs. Welcome and welcome back. I've got a lovely simple project for you today. It is a Christmas project, but don't fret if you're not into Christmas this year. You can make it with any papers you want and it will be useful for any journal that you want to protect and cover. Maybe you want to pop it in your handbag, carry it around with you. That's the idea of it. This is going to be my Christmas list or my things to do, shopping lists, whatever, and I can just pop it in my bag and it's going to protect it, this cover. This one I've made as a prototype is made out of some leatherette. I'll show it you. It's got paper on the inside, but the outside is leatherette, so it'll be more protected in my bag. I've made my own notebook. You can make this cover any size you want. I'm going to be showing you how to make it any size. I will give you specific measurements for the one I'm going to make, but I will just show you how to make it any size you want it to be. So, let's crack on. Now, this is part of a collaboration that's been run by Rachel over at Rachel and Bella Crafts. It's the Christmas Craft Off 23. There's 60 people taking part, 2 people each day throughout November. And I'm here on the 3rd of November. My partner, who's also doing a project today, is Jez over at Jezza Creates. And our prompt was a notebook with hidden charms. Now, I know what Jez has done, but I haven't seen it yet. I do think that her project and mine would go nicely together. You could make Jez's notebook and my cover. Wouldn't that be a good idea? Yeah. No, I'm not saying you have to. You can do. So, yeah, you can go on to a link that's in my description and get this list of everyone who's taking part, the dates and what they are making. You can also bob over to Rachel and Bella's website and you get this free printable. I'm going to be using this in this project. And I'm also going to be using some of the kit pages. I believe all the kits have got 40% off at the moment. But like I say, use this, it is gorgeous. Or use anything you've already got. This is a no cost to you project if you've got all the stuff in your house ready. You could even make the cover out of sturdy card. It doesn't have to be fabric as I'm going to be using. You do you, as Mr. Tim Holtz would say. Right, these are the kit pages I've chosen. You can get the link to Rachel's introduction video and launch video to see all of the kit pages. That is the freebie. I have printed it here onto some fabric. This is printable linen fabric. It's not self-adhesive, this one, so we are going to have to use a bit of glue. This one's designed for you to print photographs on and then frame them. So anyway, let's crack on. I promise you this one will be a nice, easy, quick project. So, put to one side what I'm not using for now. We'll put our prototype where we're not going to lose it because I'm good at that. And I'll show you what I've done. Right, I've got these sheets of linen. I don't want a giant A5 size book. I've printed these 8 inches by 10 inches. Also, then if you're in the USA, and because your paper's a different size to us, you can use this size, same as ladies in UK or Europe. Also, I'm getting a little bit of ink on edges of my sheets through my printer, so I thought it were a good compromise. So what I've done is I've printed off 2 sheets. I'm going to cut around the images and then I'm going to lay them back to back. Yeah, that's one. There's one I cut out earlier. And here's another one I cut out earlier to show you what I mean, because I'm making a few of these as presents. There you go. So we will glue them together and that will then become our cover. So let's crack on and do that first. I'm not going to show you me cut the whole thing out because that might be a bit boring, but these are the ones I want to use on video. I'm going to cut them with my Tim Holtz scissors that are looking a bit sticky because I cut all sorts with them. I did try cutting these first on my Tim Holtz multimedia trimmer. Didn't work. It's too flexible, I think. I think just like it wouldn't cut fabric that wasn't stiffened, it does not want to cut this. And I'm just cutting around. If I leave a tiny little bit of the cream on the edge, I'm not too bothered because I can always come in and ink that. Yeah, and if these don't line up perfectly when they're put together, I'm not that bothered because it's a junk journal. We're not looking for perfection. Now what I'm doing is I'm just rolling it a little bit like so, to allow me to cut this and have a bit more control, because I've got my fingers underneath near where my blades are. Near, not under. No, I'm not going to cut myself today, I do promise you. Whee. So let's cut. So mine notebook that I'm going to make today, I'm just going to fill it with tea-dyed paper. And I'll show you in a minute the tea-dyed paper that I've got, because I don't tea-dye my own paper anymore. You know, I'm too posh. No, it's not I'm too posh for that. It kills my back, even if I'm not putting it in the oven. And I've decided it's one thing that, yes, I'm going to bite the bullet, and I buy it now. I buy it from a lovely lady called Marty over on Etsy. And when I've just cut this piece, I will tell you the name of Marty's shop, so that if you don't want to tea-dye your own paper, you can bob over and get some from Marty. Whee. My last order that I got a lovely free gift as well. Marty probably thinks I forgot about her, because I was going to show this free gift and then I didn't. And this is the perfect time, because I've said this video is part of the Christmas craft off collaboration. Well, yesterday the two ladies who did videos, their prompt was, let's see what their prompt was, because I've got a memory like a sieve. Embossing for texture. That were Bella, Rachel's mum, did a video, and is it Heather from Ruby and Pearl, and they did some embossing using embossing folders with a die cut machine. Now I know not all of you have got one of those, so I'm digressing a little bit. This is my tea-dyed paper that I bought from the lovely Marty, and her shop name is Memory Lane Art Studio 7 over on Etsy. I will link it in the description. And this was my beautiful free gift. Look at that. And she does sell this in a shop. This is embossed handmade paper. Is that gorgeous, or is that gorgeous? She's got some gorgeous embossing folders to do these. I'll take them out and show you. How beautiful are they? So if you do want this look in your journals, but you don't want to be buying any die cut machines and emboss, oh, look at that one. It's like an Aran jumper. I absolutely love that one. Ooh, that is gorgeous. Yeah, you can pop over and have a squint in Marty's shop, and she sells these. Absolutely gorgeous. I love them. Oh, we've got two more. Got two more. And the packaging is on another level. It's next level packaging. I mean, like, I'm being careful because that is packaging, but I can use that in a journal. Yeah. And I'll show you the packaging that the tea-dyed paper came in. How amazing is that? That is amazing. That is a journal cover on its own. I'm going to save that. I've still got the one from the last pack I got from Marty. The packaging is just too nice. I'll do a video on let's make smart packaging and whip this out, and people are like, never. Nobody's packaged something in that, but Marty has. That's gorgeous, that, Marty. Thank you very much. So I will link Marty's shop for those of you with bad backs like me. Right. So I did waffle there, didn't I? Right, I've got one cut out. I might as well waffle while I cut the other one out, hadn't I, really? I said I weren't gonna. But tell you what, I'll finish cutting this and I'll be back, because I also need to order another cup of tea from my children. So 2 ticks. Right, that's my fabric pieces cut out. And if you look, they're near enough, they're the same size. Yeah, I'm going to ink around the edges. I'm going to ink around a little bit of the inside so that you won't see any white through. If you're not wanting to ink at all, it's not a big problem, because you have got whites and creams in this anyway. So yeah, that's going to be my cover. Now I'm going to make a notebook to go inside, and I'm going to cut the cover of that before I start messing with this. Now I have already gone ahead and cut one, but I don't want to use this one. That's for my prototype, so I'll show you. Just move the trimmer to one side for now. Right, I've got my measurements here, because like I said, memory like a sieve. Right, our cover measures 10 inches wide by 8 inches high. So the cover for inside needs to be shorter, because I'm going to fasten it in with elastic through these eyelets, and you don't want your cover really to be, this one's a little bit taller than it really ought to be. Yeah, you don't want your cover to be taller than the distance between those two outer eyelets, or it's all going to bunch up and it's going to damage your book. So I've cut this one to 9 1/4 wide and 7 1/2 high. So if we pop that up into the corner, all I've done is I've made it 3/4 of an inch narrower and 1/2 an inch shorter. Yeah, so whatever your cover is, make your notebook 3/4 of an inch narrower and 1/2 an inch shorter. Or vice versa. Say you made Marty. Say you made Jez's little notebook and you want to do my cover. Whatever Jez's notebook measures, when you open it out, make your cover 1/2 an inch taller and 3/4 of an inch wider, and it should all fit nicely. So let's cut the piece of paper I want to use, and I want to use this one. This is another page from the kit. It's got a lovely, happy, jolly Santa. Now I've printed it out again, 10 inches by 8. I am going to have to trim some down, so I think I want to trim it evenly on each side. Well, what I could do is I could... yeah, it is going to need trimming evenly on each side, and I don't want to lose Santa's buckle. Mind you, we're going to lose some bow or buckle. I think I'd rather lose a bit of his buckle. So first I'm going to trim the white off that top edge. Trying not to put my trimmer where the light's going to dazzle you. I can take a little bit off the extra off the top. So we've got that. I'm just going to cut the white off here before I decide how much to cut off each edge. And I'm just going to take this down to 7 1/2 inches high. Yeah, we're going to lose some of Santa's buckle, but I think he'll live, don't you? Yeah, so that is now 7 1/2 inches high. Yeah, it still looks good. And it wants to be 9 1/4 inches wide. So if I take a little bit off each side, I'm going to guesstimate it rather than measure. So I've just took about a bit more than 1/4 inch off that side. Then I'm going to measure the width to 9 1/4. I can't keep a measurement in my head for 3 seconds. I think I want to take a little bit less than that if I don't want to lose Santa's hand. Yeah, so I've took that little bit off. I'm going to turn it round again. But this is what I do. This is my process. I'll just keep nibbling at top, bottom, whatever, so that my picture still looks good, but I get the measurements that I want. So that now should be 9 1/4 by 7 1/2, and by sheer luck or judgment it is. Ooh. Right, so I'm going to put him to one side. Now we know we've got that and I haven't got to go downstairs and print some more. And we're going to come back to the cover. The first thing we're going to do is glue it. Now what are we going to glue it with? Well, you could try Fabri-Tac. I am 99% sure it would work, but as I don't have any to test, I can't be 100%. I don't use it. I tend to like to use dry adhesives for this. Now I've got this thick red line tape. This one's going to blow your mind in a minute. I blame Anne Melvin here at Positively Papercraft. Oh, look at that. It's 6 inches wide by 50 metres. Yeah, that were a huge roll of tape that I bought off eBay for doing mini albums. So I could use that, but to be quite honest, I get my knickers in a bit of a twist with it because it's too big for me. So I'm going to use what most people have got. Any good strong tape should work. If you intend sewing around this on your sewing machine, you could even perhaps use a glue stick. I don't intend sewing. I've made one. This had the same kind of backing and it stuck beautifully with the double-sided tape. So I'm going to do it again on this one. So take that off. You know what I'm just going to do here so that I don't end up gluing them together the wrong way? Right, which is top? Does that have a right and a wrong way? I honestly don't know. So is it going to matter if I get it wrong way? I think it looks better that way, doesn't it? I don't know why. I'm just going to get a pencil and I'm going to mark an arrow. There you go. So that when I glue them together, I'm going to glue proper sides. Right, I'm going to get my tape and I'm going to run it near to the edge, but not right up to the edge because I don't want the edge being majorly sticky. This is extra sticky tape, this. Every time I use it, I say they use this for sticking elements together on, you know, the UPVC windows. Yeah, that's what it's used for. Whee! So it does cut pretty well. Now when I get to edge and I cut it, so that it's not overhanging the edge of the sticky, I like to do that. And I'm cutting just inside where I want it. Can you see? That will be fine. Now you can go in strips across. So what I like to do is go around. So I'm now going to put one here. I hope you can see. But I'm going to go this way because I can see bottom better when I'm filming. Normally, again, I do a lot of my crafting standing up. I've just got myself another ring light so that I can try and get my table set up downstairs so I can do some crafting and filming down there. Because where I have mine, it's a little bit tricky to get. Let's do this end. It's a little bit tricky to move it. Wee, there we go. I don't know why I have to say wee. I get asked this a lot. I don't know, I'm just silly. It's good to be silly, isn't it? Oh, life would be boring otherwise. Whee. And there we go. If it does come over edge, just trim it. I don't know why when people make mini albums, they always use double-sided tape rather than glue. I've no idea why. Because I were into mini albums for years before I discovered junk journals. And then I'm just going to come across here and fill the middle in. By doing edge first, if you end up going a little bit wonky, it's not going to matter too much. And I'm going to do one at bottom. If you want it to be completely joined up, do that. I don't want to leave huge gaps in case it makes my cover a bit bumpy. And then some more. I'm sorry if this is a little bit boring watching me stick tape on. And I'm going to continue all the way. I've cut that off really wonky, so I'm just going to straighten the edge of my tape up. There we go. You can still see my arrow through. If anyone's interested where I get this tape from, I'm afraid I don't know about you ladies in the US. I use a company in the UK called PSA Solutions. Yeah, you've got to buy a huge roll, but I got together with a friend and we bought quite a bit between us. Whee. I can't even remember. It's that long since I bought this because mine has lasted such a long time. I couldn't even tell you the prices anymore. But again, I'll put a link to the company in the description. Yeah, I need to clean my scissors. That's how sticky this is. Clean your scissors, woman. Right, that last one, it's not going to fit. I do have some thinner rolls, but you might not have, so I'm just going to do this and cut a thinner strip. That's what I will do in future because I won't be buying rolls in 27 different sizes. I'm just going to cut that bit off. There we go. Stick that to roll. Did I do it long enough? Oh, it's ripping. Oh, that's good. I didn't know it did that. There we go. So that's that all covered. Now I'm going to grab my big fat bone folder. It is a bone folder. It's Wheel Memory Keepers, this. Again, I picked it up when it was cheap on Amazon. I always have lots of things in my Amazon basket ready to check out when there's an offer. I don't know what it's like in for other people. Maybe I buy too much on Amazon, I don't know. But I'm always getting vouchers lately for 20% off this, 20% off that. I mean, they don't email them to you. You'll go looking for something and it'll just say, ooh, deal. I'm like, oh, we like these deals. So I'm just burnishing that well down. This tape is what they call pressure sensitive tape. So pressing it down does help it stick. I could have perhaps done that for longer, but there's only so many hours in a day, isn't there? Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to peel off so much. If you can't get it off with your nails, use a knife. And then I'm going to bend that back. If it wants to bend back, if it doesn't have to. Do your scissors, woman. There you go. Right. I've got that pointing down my arrow, so I want to put this on upside down. And I'm going to line up those two corners. There we go. And I'm going to go a little bit further. It has got a little bit of give in it, this material. So if it starts to go out offline, you can do something about it. I'm going to take the backing off this one. And I'm going to do this. I mean, if you're good at eyeballing stuff, or if you're using something that you can be trimmed down, whereas this is two patterns that I'm wanting to stick together, so I don't really want to have to do any trimming. I don't want to lose any of my fabric. So that's looking good. And if you like, I can get to the end of all these pieces from this side. That's another reason for doing it like that. Sometimes when I do things how I've always done it, it's not till I come to do a video on it that I then have to think why. Well, why do you do it like that? Yeah, that's why. Right, now I'm going to just peel these back to loosen them. I don't want to get halfway through sticking my middle on and then find that I've got one that's been tricky. There we go. So now this one, I'm going to get my end. Yeah, that was a tricky one. If you fold it over back on itself, you can peel that off even though it's under there. There we go. I know I've got that corner straight. I know I've got this edge straight, so I'm not too worried. I'm smoothing my material down from that corner. There we go. If you've got paper tape, you're going to have to be a little bit more careful. This is why I like this. Whee! It's very staticky though. I'll be getting electric shocks for the rest of the day, charging me up with all this. Like I say, there's lots of different ways to do this. This is my way. If you've got glue, you'll probably find it a lot easier. I don't have the glue, it doesn't agree with me. It just doesn't agree with me. Right, I'm not going to do that last one yet, because I'm going to come back round to here, and I want to make sure I get these corners lined up next. So can you see I'm just manipulating the fabric a little bit. Just a little bit. And I'm going to take that corner off. Gotcha. I'm going to round my corners as well. So can you see it's gone out a little bit at corner. That's not a problem because I'm going to round them. I can see they're staying together. Just going to come back now and make sure I've started to lift that one. Oh, this is looking good. Right, I'm going to bite the bullet and peel that one off. And that one. So I've now got 2 bits of fabric stuck together. Yeah, if you look, I've got teeny tiny bits. But we're going to cover that up with ink. I'm going to get my big bone folder again. And come in and do that. If I'd used, say, if I'd glued my own linen, because you can glue your linen to paper, you can stick it to a piece of one of those giant A4 label sheets, and then, if I can only say for Canon printers, I've never had a problem putting stuff like that through a Canon printer. Can't speak for Epson. I had one, didn't like it, don't use it. That, oh, look at that. And can you see that is now stiff enough to be a journal cover. The adhesive and the 2 sheets of linen have made that thicken up lovely. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come in and round the corners. I don't think my corner chomper is going to work for this, so I'm not even going to try it. I'm going to grab something on my desk that's round. I've been using the lid off me inhaler. Whee, it gives me just the right angle. So I'm just gonna, that's one. That's 2. All 4 corners, and I'm going to cut them with scissors because I really don't want to put all that adhesive and 2 layers of fabric into my corner chomper anyway, even if it would just manage to get round them. I think I did that one a little bit too far in, you know. Yeah, and I'm going to get my smaller Timmy scissors to cut round this. Right. Quite often when we buy all these special tools, we're buying them to save time. And sometimes saving time saves money, doesn't it? You've got your own business especially. And that's why I buy some of the gadgets I do. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Let's do this one. I think I actually want to be between them 2. I mucked this corner up because this is the one that went the farthest outer line, so I'm just going to trim a little bit of that off, not all the way up, just a little bit, because like I said, I'm going to ink it, and because I didn't put the adhesive exactly on the edge, that's not sticky. I'm going to go to that side now and try and neaten that up. And if you've got some of those A4 label sheets, you could do this with an old pair of curtains. You could do it with anything. I've got some dresses of my kids that I've saved, and I think now I can't cut into them yet. I just can't. For a long time you think, oh, it's a good dress, I can't be cutting it up. But once those dresses are like 15-year-old, you think, nah, they're a bit old-fashioned now, aren't they? I'm just taking a bit more off that one. That's better. Have I got one left? Yeah, here we go. And this cover then, you can use it every year to put your Christmas lists in, should you want to. Or for those of you who actually journal on a daily basis, and even journal when you're out and about, yeah, it's ideal. These can be quite expensive to buy, and you don't need any special leathercraft tools to make this. It's fabric. So that's that. I'm loving the feel of it, I really am. Now I'm just going to grab my ink. I said I was going to ink a little bit of the inside, didn't I, on each sheet, and I totally forgot to do that before I glued it. It'll be right, it'll be right. I've already got a little bit of walnut stain on this dauber. Because my ink pad's very juicy, I decided not to dab it first. Seems easier to ink fabric than it is to ink paper and card. I don't know if anyone else finds that. Yeah, because I haven't used this fabric before. I'm quite happy with how this has turned out. I'm quite prepared to have it go wrong and go and print on a couple of bits of card. I know my last video I had quite a few people again thanking me for leaving in the boo-boos, because I think it's as good to learn what don't work as what does sometimes, isn't it? Right, that's that. This is going to be my outside, I think. I'll come and do a bit more inking. Phyllis is going to be happy. Aren't you, Phyllis? I best check lighting on this video as well in a minute, because it's that time of day where sun is going down. I keep forgetting that we're now on, yeah, Greenwich Mean Time, are we? Yeah, I don't know, I get confused. Clocks went back an hour last weekend, so it gets dark earlier, doesn't it? So the timings in my head need readjusting. Right, I think that looks good. Now I'm quite happy that it's going to stay stuck together, because I know this tape, it holds your windows in, yeah? So I think it's going to hold your journal together, isn't it? Oh, how beautiful is that? I really love these designs, Rachel. Oh, we're okay for light for now, yeah. We're going a bit dark over here, but I think we'll live with it. Move over here a bit. Yeah, so let's bring back my notebook. Oh, that's looking good. Yeah, I like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut round the corners on my notebook as well to match. Let's find my best corner. That's the best corner. But I'm not drawing again. Can you see? I'm just lining it up. Yeah, that were lined up really well, that, weren't it? Just going to line it up like so. And then I'm going to come in and cut. So I'm using journal cover as a template, really. If you're going to do that, be careful, because you don't want to cut any more off your journal cover than you really have to, do you? Whee. Oh, I really like the feel of this. I hope that they get some of that fabric back in stock. If I'd had some linen fabric as well, I would have put some onto a piece of sticker paper and showed you how well it works, because it does. Or you can buy the self-adhesive sheets of fabric. Or yeah, I know some people will, you can get temporary spray. I've got some called stick and spray. You can temporarily stick fabric. I've never tried it through printer though, but other people have had good results with it. Right, that's all 4 of those corners done, using our own template. Right, I'm going to just fold this over, but I'm not going to make a definite crease. Ooh, that's good. There you go. We know where the middle is, but I've not put a definite crease, because I'm going to fill that now with papers. Right. Oh, do you know, I keep looking at this because I'm really happy. I'm just going to do a little bit of trimming there, because I think it's not going to shrink back as much as I would have liked it to. Big scissors, where you gone? There you are, you're hiding on the other side at the desk. Whee. You'll be waiting for that hidden charm yet as well, won't you? Yeah. I promise you'll like it. Some hidden Yorkshire charm. Yeah. Some might say I've got Yorkshire charm, but I think I'd more likely say I've got Yorkshire sarcasm. Right, oh, I like it. Right, get your papers. I'm sorry for flicking back from one thing to another. I'm just going to give that time to bond. Well, we know it's bonded, but the longer you leave it, the better the bond. Right, I've got my tea-dyed papers from Marty over at Memory Lane Art Studio. I've got it wrote down. I'm going to need an auto cue me soon. Yeah, I'm going to have to dictate my video so that I can remember what to say. Right, I don't know how many pages I'm going to use yet. I'm basically just going to grab some. I'm going to turn them over and I'm going to think, yeah, that feels good. So now I'll count them for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I bet I couldn't do that again. Grab 10. Now you can use any paper you want. Use kit papers. I'm conscious that in my last Rachel and Bella collaboration, that's what I did. I used kit pages and made a different kind of notebook. Right, I'm now going to bring my notebook cover over because I don't want to waste a lot of this paper. So I'm going to see roughly how much I'm going to need. Oh, so I'm going to get some decent strips. You could fold some in to make flip out some pockets if you wanted. I'm not going to, because I don't want to. I'm just going to fold mine over like so. I want them to be slightly shorter. Sorry, bring that down so you can see. Slightly narrower than my book. I'm just going to pause and sort this lighting out and then we'll crack on with this. That's better. I've got big light on and all as we say around here. Put big light on. That means ceiling light. Right, so what we're doing is I'm just folding it over from one side. I could measure it, I suppose, but I do like to just eyeball things these days. And that's going to look about right to me. That looks about right. I'm just going to crease it down a little bit. Not permanently, just to check. That looks about right. So now I'll tell you what it measures. It should measure just short of what the book measures. And the book is 9 1/4 wide when it's open. So what is just half of it? Half of it is 4 1/2. The quarter is lost in the curve, you see. Isn't that amazing? So that one is, it's just about 4 1/4. Now I've got it folded over, I'm going to bring my grungy mat in and I'm going to do something I tell you I never do because I'm rubbish at it. But I'm having a go at it. Sometimes old dogs need to have a go at new tricks. I've tried this before and I just mess up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it with a craft knife. Yeah, I've had one cut there, I've hurt my toe, I banged my arm, I've had my 3 accidents for this season. I'm not going to have another. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just lining that up with the edge of my mat. Yeah. And then I'm going to, that line looks pretty good. Yeah, and I'm going to line my ruler up. Just squashing it down. I'm going to line my ruler up with one of these lines. My mat's in centimetres, so I can't tell you. But it's about 4 1/4 inches. I've got my dodgy little craft knife. I'm not using my ruler that protects my fingers because I can't find it. So here goes. Close your eyes if you're squeamish. I'm just going to put that out a little bit. I'm going to be precise up to my ruler, not too hard. I've had so many instructions in comments how to do this properly when I've messed it up on camera before. So far it's going well. I know I'm starting to grip my knife too tight now. If you don't want to mess with a craft knife and you still want them roughly the same width, I will link to my last collaboration video I did for Rachel and Bella, where I just did them by guesstimating them and trimming them down with my trimmer. Today I thought, because I did that last time, I need to be brave. I mean, God knows what that side's going to look like. Oh, it's not too bad. Oh, could it be that I'm actually getting better at this? That bit's a bit dodgy. Yeah, it looks okay. What did my mum used to say? Blind man, I'd be glad to see it. Right, so now we've got all those to use. We could make some little mini notebooks. That could be some extra hidden charm at the back. We could put a mini notebook in the big notebook. But no, I've got something else planned for that. I'm just going to trim that bit off. But on the whole, I'm pretty happy with that. I call that a success. Yay! Right, so we've got the width. Let's put it in book, see if it's okay. Oh, look at that, I like it. That's just about how I wanted it. I didn't want it right to edge. I can't go for perfection when I know it's not achievable. Now, I want to cut the height. So I've just brought it down, not quite as much as I have on that side. And then I'm just going to bring it down a little more. And I'm just going to draw a little pencil line across there. There we go. So let's check that out. Yeah, when I've cut it on that line, we'll still have a little maroon bottom and top. And that's where we're going to cut these. So, tell you what. Now I've got to do it that way now because that's the side I drew the line on. I wondered if it'd be easy to start from the folded bit. I don't know. Can't remember how I did it on my last one. Right. Oops, my ruler moved a little bit there. I suppose I could open this up and just cut it with trimmer, but I'm getting into this now. There's no blood yet. Ooh, did I speak too soon? I'm sorry if you're eating your tea or you're having your breakfast. Especially if you've got ketchup. I'm sorry if that joke were in poor taste. Oh, not three bad that. Oh, look at that. Again. One happy blind man. So, oh, I'm liking it. I love Santa up front. Oh. Do you know what, Rachel? I'll be jumping on my wardrobe and getting all my Christmas stuff out at this rate. Right, I'm going to round these corners on the pages, but I'm not going to do it by hand. I'm going to use my corner chomper. If you don't have a corner chomper, yeah, it'll take you a bit longer than me. I'm getting about 3 or 4 pages at once. I'm using the large side, and I'm just going to chomp off all my corners because, as we know, what are corners? They're offensive. I keep trying to remember to write comments down so I can actually give a shout out to the people who leave them. I do write them down sometimes, and then because I've wrote them on a sticky note, I lose them. Because I had a comment from someone when I'd mentioned corners being offensive, and it's not funny, but it is. It isn't. The lady says she finds corners offensive, and she does have OCD. That's the part that's not funny. So she actually doesn't like corners on anything. She's actually filed some down. And I'm like, yeah, that were me when my kids were little. Could not stand corners. And I actually did sand down the corners of a coffee table. Because do you know those? You buy them rubber corners, don't you, for kids? So, yeah. Are they called bump guards or whatever? I don't know. And they just wouldn't stay on this one coffee table. So I just sanded them down. I'm like, no, I'm not having no children getting hurt on that. That's not the worst thing, though. I didn't live... It wasn't my own house. I lived with my sister. It were a coffee table. Do, 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 do. I didn't ask for permission. Well, hey-ho. Worst things happen at sea. I once had to chisel my way out at living room when door lock got jammed. Yeah, oh, that were bad, that. Yeah, I were in the living room with 2 children in an upstairs flat. And, yeah, the door, it just got jammed, could not open it. And I was shouting out at window. It were a very quiet road. The kids needed feed, and I'm talking they were literally a couple of months old, and they were premies as well. So, because I'm a crafter, and I got some craft supplies in the living room with me, I used, in fact, that's what made me think of this earlier, I used this little hammer, yeah, and some pokey tools, and some pliers, to chisel my way to the door lock. It was like, oh my word. So my sister came home from work, and there's a great big hole in the door. She looked shocked, but I'll give her a due. She was like, yeah, no else she could do, really. And landlord even agreed as well, thankfully. Yeah, I've got a photo of that somewhere. It might be on Facebook. Anyway, I digress again. But I had to just waffle while I cut them corners. Oh, a couple of them are a bit wonky there. That's the risk you take when you do a bunch at once, if your corners aren't perfectly lined up. Right, so we've got 10 sheets of paper folded over. That gives us 20 leaves of paper, and that's 40 pages. Yeah, this is another question I get a lot. What a page. I look at it like it were a book. If I were reading a book and pages were numbered, that would be 1 page, 2, 3. That's what I call a page. That's a leaf and that's a sheet. You fold it over to get 2 leaves, 4 pages. I'm sorry if that were teaching grandma to suck eggs, but you don't learn to suck eggs without a lot of practice, and I have a lot of beginners who watch me. Right, so that's my notebook. Let's bring the cover back in. This quick video's dragging on a bit, isn't it? That, look at it, it all fits together absolutely lovely. Yeah. Now, one thing I want to do before I start punching holes and putting string in is I'm going to put a pocket. I have not decided it. I'm going to put it in. I'll put the pocket in the actual journal, I think. Yeah. I'm going to put my pocket in my journal. And I've got some extra bits that I printed out. Grab 'em, woman. Grab 'em. Here's one. That were going to be a notebook and it didn't. Oh, them colours don't go, do they? No, I had another one. Here we go. Ruffle, ruffle. What we got here? I knew I'd printed some more bits of the kit out because I didn't know what I were going to use. Oh, I like that red stripe. Yes, I'm going to put pockets in with the red stripe. Yeah. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab something. Do I want a round pocket or a straight pocket? Grab your trimmer, woman. Let's try a straight pocket. So I'm just going to cut a piece off. Let's make it 3.5 inches high. And I'm going to make it yay long. So yay long is 4.5 inches. That might be a bit too long now. No, that's fine. And I'm going to just round that corner and that corner. So again, I'm going to use my book as the template. You've got to have a pocket to put bits and bobs in, haven't you? It's just compulsory in any cover. And there we go. Just going to give that one a bit of ink because I think that needs it. As soon as we've inked the cover, and we're running out of ink, so I'll just get a quick daub. That's my old grungy walnut stain pad. There we go. That's it. I'm just going to... That is just going to bob on there. So I'm going to grab some art glitter glue. Seems to stick anything and everything. I did get a new bottle of that. Here we go. Still have not found the pin that I lost in the previous video. I lost my pin, couldn't find it, and then I had people telling me that it was stuck in my jumper sleeve. What am I like? So I'm just gluing along the bottom and up that edge. Luckily with this paper there is no upside down if I glue it wrong sides. Just make sure that's no upside down, it's not. And I'm just going to glue that on there. Everything I know about art glitter glue tells me it will stick. So no need to sew if you don't want to. You can also always come in and sew around the edge for decorative purposes. There we go. So that's that. So I'm going to let that glue. I'm going to come back to my notebook. And I'm going to use my sideways stapler. Now, you can bind this with 3/0 pamphlet stitch. You can staple it as I'm going to do. You could even run it through your sewing machine if you've got one and sew it. But I'm going to staple it. So I'm going to, I'll now just put a bit more of a firm crease in that cover. I'm also going to grab my ink dauber. And I'm just going to ink down that seam because it's going to help me when I come to put a staple in. If you don't want to ink your project, mark it with a disappearing pen. I love mine. I got a new one, I've got to tell you this. Right, it's by Prim, and it says on it, you've got to test it on cloth, yeah, yada yada, and it says, please take off cap with hands, not with mouth. I feel really told off because I am a bugger for doing that, taking cap off pens with my teeth and holding it in my mouth. Right, anyway, I digressed again. So that's lined up in the centre. I'm going to open it out. Check it's still nicely lined up. And this is one time I am going to pop a couple of clips on, because I don't want this turning while I'm trying to staple these pages in my book. Is that still okay? Yeah. Now I've got this twisty stapler. Everyone asks where this is from. I'll put the links in. I've found it on Amazon USA and Amazon UK. I'm still in process of setting up my Amazon Australia storefront, which is happening. I'm just finding it a little bit difficult to find things. Right, so I'm going to staple. I think 2 will do, even though this book's long. I'm going to put 1 here and 1 up there. I'm not measuring. Life's too short to measure things that don't need measuring. That's 1. Can you see how the ink's helped me? Then I'll turn it round and do this one. Sometimes all you need is a staple. I'm only using this. For mine, I'll only be using the notebook for Christmas. And I'm guessing the couple of ladies I'm making them for will too. Right. So that is my little journaling notebook. If you want to go all the way through and press every page, it will then, yeah, it'll act and feel a little bit more like a notebook or journal. But as I said, put anything you want in here. I've just gone for tea dyed. If you want to do a decorated notebook, bob over and see Jez. Right, so that is going to pop in there. Right, the last thing I need to do is put my holes and elastic in and pop my hidden charm in. Are you ready for this? This took a lot of research. It took a lot of effort, and I thought, what could be the hidden charm in my notebook? I mean, at Christmas, people quite often make little bits of Happy Mail with hot chocolate in, don't they? But I'm from Yorkshire, so I've got a Yorkshire tea bag. There you go. So that's my hidden charm. I've got a Yorkshire tea bag by appointment of HRH, the Prince of Wales. Ooh, that shows that these tea bags need updating, because he's now the king, isn't he? Ooh. Oh no, it says HRH, the Prince of Wales. So we do have a Prince of Wales now. It's William, isn't it? Not Charles. So there you go. That's my hidden charm. I'm sorry if you wait for something a bit more thrilling. Well, that's what you've got. Right, now we've got to make some holes in this cover and pop some elastic in. I'm going to bring my prototype back. You know how I said I'm going to pop prototype there so I don't lose it? Well, I've lost it. So 2 ticks, bit of a tidy, I'm straight back with you. And I'm back, that's better. I found my books, found my tea bag. Right, this is my prototype. So we're going to put these holes in. And we want 5 holes. 2 at the top, 1 in the middle. I didn't measure it, I just eyeballed it. And then 2 at bottom. Now, if you're using a Cropadile, which I'm going to be using for my top and bottom holes, if you've got this one, I set it, I'm using the large hole. You can get away with little one, but my elastic is rather thick. And I do like to put eyelets in because it's not leather and it is going to wear. So I set my first one to 1/4 inch. Right, grab my journal. We'll take tea bag out for now. Fold it over the cover. And this is where I'm going to use my disappearing pen because I like it. And I'm going to put a line. Yeah, put it down middle, love. I'm just going to put a line just up about, just over 1/2 inch. And I'm going to do the same at bottom. Mark it with anything you want. Mark it with a pencil if it will rub off. I like to use my disappearing purple pen. I got a new one because my last one, I don't know, it was disappearing too quick. So I'm then going to punch at the top with that guide mark set to 1/4 of an inch. So if you're measuring this and punching it with a different hole punch, you want the centre of your hole to be 1/4 of an inch from the top. Then I'm going to do the same down here. So I'm getting that line across the centre. Then I'm going to change that. Did I change it to 1/2 an inch or 3/4? I'll try 1/2 an inch first and see what happens, because I can't honestly remember. I didn't write that down. I'm just going to clear that hole with my poking tool. Pokey pokey. Come out. There you go. No, the actual rims on the eyelets would overlap. I think it was 3, let's try 5/8. I'm setting the guide to 5/8 of an inch. Yeah, 5/8. I've punched the hole again, and I'm going to do the same here. There we go. Now normally I would use my long reach Cropadile, but I'm aware not everyone's got one to do the centre hole. So I've got my old tools out. Literally you can get these on Amazon for a couple of quid. And it's just these. Yeah, you have little adapters for making holes, and then you have adapters for setting the eyelet. So I'm going to use one of these. Which size hole did I have? These would be easier if it told you on them what they were. I just wing it, I guess it. If hole doesn't look big enough, I come in and make it a bit bigger with a pencil. So I'm going to use that one. I think that's it. Yeah, it would be. It's one you've got on, love, from using it, isn't it? Yeah. Right, I'm going to get my old manky mat out because I don't want to put holes in my nice one. And I'm going to fold that in half again. I'm going to guesstimate where halfway is, and I'm going to put another dot on the spine with my purpley pen. Right, and then I'm going to come in. Yeah, it's empty. There's 2 ways to use these. If you've got a lot of strength, you can twist it like so. Sorry about seeing all my arm. And then sometimes it'll go through, sometimes it won't. Otherwise, get your hammer. Sorry about that noise, people. And just go through. Right, I'm going to pause while I bang again. Right, it does not want to go through the 2 thicknesses of fabric and the sticky all the way. So I'm going to turn over. You can see, look, where it's nearly come through. I'm going to line it up again in the same place. I'm going to pause because you really don't need to hear this. There you go. It's worked. So that's, if you don't want to spend £40 on a Cropadile, get these. Actually, I've had these so long, my original ones. It came in a little kit with the hammer, and it were called by, was it We Are Memory Keep, Making Memories, and it came in a little tin. I bet a lot of you will remember that. And it does exactly the same job. Yeah, I very rarely put a hole that far into anything these days. Had I not been someone who made a lot of mini albums, I would have never needed that long reach Cropadile. Right, I digress as well. So, I'm going to get some eyelets. I'm using my copper ones. The copper, no, the bronze. I need 5. 3, 4, 5. And these have little things with them. People ask me often where I get these from. I get them from all over. AliExpress. I've never had any from Temu yet. I don't buy a lot from Temu. Only because we don't seem to have the same range yet in the UK. Things like this I'll normally get from AliExpress, or if I'm in a rush for them, I'll get from Amazon. Costs a bit more, but you get it quicker. Right, now I'm going to put all these 5 in. So I've put the eyelet on the outside. These are 3, yeah, I do this every time, forget the size. And it tells you on here, 3/16 of an inch. Yeah. In the UK you get 4 or 5 millimetre. They're never exact. I've had 4mm ones and 5mm ones that are the exact same size when they get here. Right, so put that in the front of the book. Pop that in. Yeah, I got a washer on both sides on some other day, and there we go. That's that. The washer. Yeah, so if I'd only put these two eyelets another 1/4 of an inch apart, they would have overlapped, or they would have been too close together. Now you don't have to put the eyelets in. I'm thinking I could get away without eyelets here, in which case I'd probably just put smaller holes in and thread the elastic through. If I use the small hole on the Cropadile and put eyelets in, it's then not big enough for my elastic. That's that. And I do like the look of the eyelets, I really do. I find it sort of keeps the shape of a narrow little spine. You'll see what I mean when I turn it over. Right, this one, pop that in. Put my eyelet on just the same. And I'll get this out again. And you get these. It's like a star shape. That sets eyelets. And you also get these. Get one out, woman. It's like a domed shape. Now I've got lots of different sets of these, so I'm guessing what's what. If you buy some, just buy the size you want. 3/16 of an inch is the size that works for these eyelets. I've totally forgot which one I used. That doesn't even fit. So like I said, I've had a lot of sets of these. I'm going to have to unscrew that one that I used. Yeah. That looks about right size. So you pop that in to your eyelet. You get your little hammer. Give it a tap. Tap it some more. Sorry about the noise. And that doesn't seem to be right size for it. Or it that one. Does that set it? Yeah. Yeah, that's set it. But it is a little... Right, now get the round end of your hammer. Go around. I always like to feel it with my finger. I'll try and... I was going to say make the banging quieter. I can't. There you go. That's done it exactly the same. No roughness left. Perhaps looks a little bit neater with that. Maybe if I knew which size tool I needed to do this side, but I've got 50 different sets. I obviously picked the right one when I made that one last night. But again, I don't know if you can see. I had to come in with my hammer and hammer that because it were a little bit sharp. You don't tend to get the sharpness when they use your Crocodiles, but you've got to think, how often do you want to do a hole in the middle of something? Is it worth spending £40 on a machine to do one hole once a year? I don't know. Right, now I'm going to grab my elastic. This is 1.5mm elastic, it says, but I think it's 2mm. I don't know. It just seems as wide as the 2mm one I had previously. I ordered 2mm, it came and it said 1.5, so I really don't know. It doesn't really make a difference as long as it fits through your holes. Right, for threading these now to get your book in, I'll just get my book and I'll show you. Yeah, my book comes halfway up my top and bottom eyelet, so that's going to be fine. My elastic will fit without damaging my book or causing any problems. So, get this right, woman, get this right. So first thing you need to do, you can start bottom or top, it doesn't matter. You go in there and out there. Well, I'm starting from the outside, so actually you go out there and in there. And then you go all the way to the top. This is going to be the elastic that holds your book. So you then want to go in the very top one, and then back through to the inside on that one. Yeah, then that piece of elastic, you'll cut off the length you need and tie it. I tend to do it while it's still on roll because then I waste less elastic. I don't cut a length and then decide, ooh, that's how much I need. So I will cut this with just enough room to tie it, and then I'll measure it for you, and then I'll rethread it. So that's 19 inches of elastic. If you're unsure, I would suggest cutting 20 inches and you'll be safe. So there and there, and then I'm going to tie that. Right, not too tight, not too loose, which is a bit of a, when someone says how long is a bit of a string kind of answer, isn't it? Can you see it's not tight enough to pucker up my book? Yeah, but it's not so loose that it's really baggy. And I'm just gonna, now if you have a lighter, which I'm still struggling to find, cut this down to the length you want. And then if you've got a lighter or some kind of, you know, those things that light your gas, you can just heat that end to melt it, and then it won't fray any further. I'm going to have to grab one while I'm at, because I don't have one anymore. We're all electric. Right, so that's that. We should then find that our book fits in the long string that goes from the top hole to the bottom hole. Should be able to pass it through, and that fits a treat, doesn't it? Oh wow, I like that. And on this, because you've then used the big hole with lots of room, if you want to add another book or even another book, you can thread your elastic around another couple of times. Replace your elastic, then you could have 3 elastics all coming out of the same hole. It would work. Yeah. Now, to fasten it, I'm going to use the same elastic again. And I'm just going to wrap a piece of elastic all the way around my book. I'm going to start with, I've got about 1 inch there. I'm going to wrap it round. Maybe that were a bit more than 1 inch. So this really is an how long is a bit of string kind of answer. I'd say that's perhaps about 1.5 inches. So 3 inches longer than the complete width of your book. Yeah? About that. And then what I'm going to do, before I thread it through, I want to put a little tab on this, just to protect the edge of my book. If you look at this one, it is stiffer. It's a little bit stiffer, this. Yeah, I don't want it to all squash and damage my book. So, this free printable from Rach and Bella, which is page tabs, I'm going to use one of these just to make a little tab to go on the edge of my book. So I'm just going to cut one of these out. I think I'm going to use that one because then it matches my inside cover. So just cut that out. So I just printed this onto the fabric again. It didn't have to be this fabric. Use anything you've got hanging about. I've saved some old leather. I've got a couple of leather coats and a leather skirt, and I really want to make some journals with them. And this is the exact same method I will use. It's not really heavy duty leather that you would use for a journal cover, so I would have to glue it to something else, perhaps some of this fabric. I think that would look good. Right, so that's just going to go around there like so. But first I want to round these corners. Because this is only one thickness, I'm going to see whether my corner rounder will do it. Let's try the large size. I don't honestly know. Oh, did it? Oh, it did it. Who knew? I love how it pings out. Ping. One more. Just make sure it's not cocked up or it won't go in between the cutting blades. And ping. I couldn't resist that, I'm sorry. And I'm going to grab my inky dauber again. Where did I throw that after I'd done with it? I'm such a nightmare. Never put out away. Oops. Get your lighter coloured one. Oh, I found it. There she goes. I'm just going to ink round those edges. Right, then I'm going to fold those over like so. And I'm going to, I think I'll set that at the quarter again. Quarter, no, perhaps 3/4. No, half an inch. Half an inch, make your mind up, woman. No, that's too much. Just eyeball it, people, eyeball it, guesstimate it. So I've made 2 holes. Now you can put eyelets on there, or you don't have to put eyelets on there. Because I've put eyelets on the book, I'm going to come in and put eyelets on. Because I'm in an eyelet using mood. So yeah, maybe this project was a simple one, but not quite as quick when you're waffling tent doesn't like me. But there you go. That's one. Squeeze that a bit harder, it's not quite in. There we go. That's 2. Maybe I could have used this double thickness, but I didn't want it to be too bulky. It's quite sturdy enough. Did I get my eyelet on? Yeah. Put it all the way around, woman. Put it all the way around. You're just acting like a woman who's never put an eyelet in before now, aren't you? And you've just done 5, 6, 7. There you go. One of those seems a little bit sharp, so I'm going to use my little hammer again. There you go. They just are sharp sometimes, eyelets, and I'm always conscious that a lot of my books are used by someone other than me. I wouldn't like to find out that someone's cut the finger. Right, so I've now got that. So I'm going to thread that. I nearly did it wrong then. From the back through. There we go. So that is going to go over the edge of our book like so, just to protect it. So get my 2 ends together. I'm going to thread them through the centre hole from the outside to the inside. And I'm going to tie a loose knot near the end. We know we've got enough room to tie the knot. I'm going to make it loose because I might need to tighten it. So that's just a loose knot for now. Yeah, that's far too baggy, isn't it? Far too baggy. So now, because I did a loose knot, I can tighten it up. Oh, I think I've made that too tight now. I just went a bit giddy then, didn't I? We'll see, won't we? Oh, I think that might actually be all right. There we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's actually perfect. So, it's done. Oh, I'm quite happy with that. I'm just going to, perhaps a little too tight, so I'm just going to pull it there, tighten the knot like that, and then tighten it like that. Because that will have loosened it off a little bit. I think I could have done with, do you know what I might do? I've made that very long, so I could put another piece of fabric on the other side, but oh yeah, I'm quite happy with that. That is cute. So let's pop the hidden charm back in. So you've got some hidden Yorkshire charm in the form of a tea bag. I'm sorry if you thought that were going to be something more thrilling, but that's what you've got. So that's our traveller's notebook cover, and hopefully I've showed you how you can make one any size there to put on any notebook you've got. I mean, that's going to be quite protected, bobbed in my handbag, and yeah, so there you go. Don't forget to check out everyone else's in the collaboration. Yeah, all these details, I will leave a link to Rach and Bella's website where you can get the details of everyone, and I will also link to Jez, so please bob over and see Jez's video. I think it will go with this one lovely. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.